Hi friends, hope you are doing well and you are observing the things which are going around you, and of course you must be aware about that. And in my short video, or you can say shorts, I have informed you that disclosure or a report has been released by the Supreme Court of India on its website regarding the appointment of the judges of the high courts, right? So generally it is said that this process is very opaque, the appointment of judges of the different high courts, and it is based on the collegium system. It is not transparent, not accountable, and all kind of things. And of course I am not in favor of collegium system because it is not transparent and not accountable, right? It is one of kind of system which has been developed by Indian judiciary, which has no mention in our constitution. Despite that fact, this report has been released by the Supreme Court of India, and this is very very important to understand the appointment process of the judges of different high courts. And of course this report is very broad and huge, a detailed description of the appointment process of the judges of the different high courts has been mentioned in this report, right? And this report has been released recently, right? And I will briefly discuss this report in this video. So in the first page, or in the second page of this report, the description has been given about the High Court Collegium and its constitution, right? So Chief Justice of India and plus one judges and plus two judges, sorry, Chief Justice of India plus two senior most judges of the High Courts will constitute the High Court Collegium, right? And they will consult with, there will be consultation with the eminent members of the bar, consultation with the other judges of the high courts, and in case of judicial officers, assessment of the judgments by a committee of senior judges who are not a part of collegium. And it has been also enumerated in this part is the factors to be taken into consideration, means that which kind of consideration, which kind of factor will be assessed by the collegium about a particular candidate who are claiming for the post of judge in particular high court, right? So and for the high court collegium, the High Court Collegium will send that proposal, original proposal, and copy to the Chief Ministers, Governor, Union Minister of Law and Justice, advance copy. This will be the and original proposal. The original proposal about a particular candidate will be sent to the Chief Minister also. So CM can also recommend names to Chief Justice of High Court. Means that during appointment process, chief minister of particular state has been given his due in this appointment process. So high court collegium will give and send the original proposal to the chief minister of that state, and advance copy to governor, advance copy to union minister of law and justice, advance copy to Supreme Court Collegium. It means that it is showing that there is a connected, you can say, process. The proposal for a particular candidate will go to chief minister, governor, union minister of law and justice, and Supreme Court Collegium, and the union minister of law and justice further sent it to IB, Intelligence Bureau, for inputs. Then it may send back to Supreme Court Collegium, right? Then after going to Supreme Court Collegium, the Supreme Court Collegium view the consultee judges, interaction with candidates, independent inquiries can be done by the Supreme Court Collegium, material placed on record by DOJ, complaints representation received by Supreme Court Collegium, right? So this process is very complicated. Many aspects are taken into consideration before the appointment or the final approval of a particular candidates for the High Court judgeship, right? So even the chief minister of particular state will take inputs from the state intelligence branch and have informal consultation with other stakeholders. So chief minister of that particular state has a role, right? That chief minister of particular state can take inputs from the state intelligence department, and even he can consult other stakeholders, even he can recommend a particular name for judgeship, right? Union minister of law and justice have certain powers to take inputs from IB and all. So this has been enumerated in this report, right? So initiation of the proposal, the further heading in this report is the initiation of the proposal. So who will initiate the appointment process of the High Court judges? So it is the High Court Collegium. The proposal is initiated by High Court Collegium consisting of Chief Justice and two senior most judges of that High Court. Right. So in case of proposal for appointment of members of bar, means that if that member which which would be recommended for the post of the judge in the High Court, and if he belongs to bar means that belongs to advocates. If he is an advocate, then in that case, the members of High Court's Collegium consult various stakeholders, such as other judges of the High Court and eminent members of the bar of the High Court. So if that candidate belongs to bar, in that case the other judges can be consulted, eminent members of the bar can be consulted, and after the consultation, a list of shortlisted candidates is prepared, keeping in view various criteria such as standing at bar, areas of practice, knowledge of substantive and procedural law, performance in courts, pro bono work, integrity, etc. Social diversity and representation to women and other marginalized sections of society are also taken into consideration. So before shortlisting the candidates for proposal or for recommendation to the Supreme Court Collegium, because after this shortlisting of candidates, that report will be sent to the Supreme Court Collegium, right? So during the preparation and shortlisting of candidates, these things will be kept in mind by the High Court Collegium. So High Court Collegium may also call the candidates for personal interaction to assess their suitability. So it is discretion of the High Court's Collegium that the High Court's Collegium may call the candidates, shortlisted candidates, or candidates which are being considered by the Supreme High Court Collegium for appointment. They may be called for the personal interaction to assess their suitability for the post. Then, in case of the proposal for appointment of judicial officers, candidates are shortlisted primarily on basis of merit and integrity while maintaining their interseniority. So, if the candidates belong to service means they are coming from bench. Bench means who have been appointed by the different processes. They are not practitioners, they are not advocates, they are judicial officers. And if they are the candidates, right, they will be shortlisted primarily on the basis of merit and integrity while maintaining their interstate security. So a detailed provision has been enumerated in this report, right? And the further process, it is talking about the role of Chief Minister, Governor, and Union Minister of Law and Justice, which is very, very important. The people are not aware that there is a role of Chief Minister, Governor, and Union Minister for Law and Justice before the appointment of a judge in the High Court. So, under the heading Further Process, the role of Chief Justice, Governor, and Union Minister for Law and Justice has been described. And what is it? Let me read it and then examine it. So the first point in this part is that the Chief Justice of High Court forwards the proposal containing the minutes of the High Court Collegium meetings and deliberation and all the documents collected from recommendees to the Chief Minister of the State. try to note this important point. So, the Chief Justice of the High Court forwards the proposal of the minutes of the High Court Collegium meetings and deliberations, all document collected from the recommendees to Chief Minister of the state. So please don't say that the chief minister has no role in the appointment process. So all the documents collected during the consideration of High Court Collegium will be sent to the chief minister. Simultaneously, an advance copy of entire proposal is provided, and at the same time, remember this, when these minutes of the High Court Collegium will send to the Chief Minister of the state, at the same time, the advance copy of entire proposal is provided to Governor of the State, Union Minister of Law and Justice and Chief Justice of India. This is very, very important. So all office bearers, these office bearers, whether Governor, Chief Justice, Union Law Minister, and Supreme Court of India, are involved in this process. And then the Chief Minister, after appropriate verification and consideration, so when this document is being sent to the Chief Minister office or Chief Minister, and then Chief Minister will do? The Chief Minister, after appropriate verification and consideration, forwards the original proposal along with his view about the proposal to Governor of the state, sometimes enclosing the report of the State Intelligence Branch in respect of each recommendee, who then forwards the proposal to Union Minister of Law and Justice along with his views. Try to understand this. So, after verifying and considering different aspects of the original proposal, the Chief Minister of that state, with his own views, will send this proposal to the Governor of a state, sometimes enclosing the report of intelligence with respect to recommendees. Means that if there are certain intelligence report about those candidates, so along with that report, the original proposal will be sent to the Governor by the Chief Minister of that state, and further the Governor will send that proposal to Union Minister of Law and Justice along with his views. So there is a role of Chief Minister and Governor and Union Minister of Law and Justice during appointment process. Further, if comments are not received within 6 weeks from constitutional authorities of the state, means the Governor, the Chief Minister, if the comments and any kind of views are not being received within 6 weeks from these authorities, it is presumed that the Governor or Chief Minister has nothing to add to the proposal. So generally, after receiving the proposal from the High Court Collegium, the Governor and Chief Minister have 6 weeks from that date, and if they are not adding anything or commenting anything or attaching something based on intelligence report and all, then it will be presumed that they have nothing to add to that proposal, right? Further, the Union Minister of Law and Justice forwards the proposal along with views of Union Government on proposal and the report of Intelligence Bureau in respect of each of recommendees to the Chief Justice of India for his advice, right? And when this report is being received by the Union Minister of Law and Justice, after giving his views of Union Government, not his views, the views of Government of India, because he is the cabinet member, and if he has any report or she has any report regarding Intelligence Bureau in respect of each recommendees, he will forward that report to Chief Justice of India for his advice. Means the Union Minister of Law and Justice will seek advice of the Chief Justice of India on that recommended candidates, right? Then role of Supreme Court Collegium. So now the proposal has been submitted to the Chief Justice of India by the Union Law and Justice Minister, and now the role of Supreme Court Collegium starts, which is being also in short form regarded as SCC, Supreme Court Collegium. So the Chief Justice of India seeks view of judges of the Supreme Court outside the Collegium who are conversant with the affairs of concerned High Court. Remember this point. It is not only the Collegium members. Outside Collegium, also he can seek a view of a particular judge who are conversant with the affairs of the concerned High Court, who has knowledge about that High Courts, about which this proposal has been received. Then the members of Supreme Court Collegium also make independent inquiries from various sources regarding suitability of candidates. So the Supreme Court Collegium members have power to get information from different sources about the suitability of a candidate for the appointment as a judges, right? Then the Supreme Court Collegium holds personal interaction with the recommendees. So after that, investigation, inquiries, and information from different sources, they can also have an interaction, personal interaction with those candidates recommended by the High Court Collegium. After considering each and every aspect of proposal, the Supreme Court Collegium forwards their recommendation to the Union Minister of Law and Justice. So try to understand, these proposals are not directly coming. Of course, advance copy is being sent to Supreme Court and Supreme Court Collegium, but there is a channel. Now this report is coming from Chief Minister, Governor, and then to Union Minister of Law and Justice, then to the Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice of India and Supreme Court Collegium considers all aspect of this proposal, and the other judges conversant with that. If there is need, there is personal interaction by the Supreme Court Collegium, and then this report further with recommendation and all forwarded to the Union Minister of Law and Justice for the appointment. And after that forwarding, that will go to the President of India, and President will appoint the judges in different high courts with his and her seal and stamp, right? So factor which are taken into consideration while recommending names of judicial officer for elevation to the high courts. So there are certain criteria which has been given regarding the judicial officers. The first discussion was regarding the members from bar. Now we are talking about the judicial officers, and there are lists on the basis of which a judicial officer can be recommended for the elevation to the high courts, means promotion to the high courts. And these are following. You can go through it. I am not going to discuss too much about it because it has been enumerated. You can go through it and you can understand. So, factors which are taken into consideration while recommendation of advocates for elevations to the high courts. So, if High Court Collegium is going to consider an advocate for the appointment to the judicial offices, these are the certain criteria on the basis of which their name will be recommended. And you can try to understand by going through it, because it is very long. I cannot discuss in a single video. So you can go and understand. You can access this document and you can understand. Now the role of union government. I'm skipping two parts, right, which are related to the basis, and you can say the factors which are being considered by the High Court Collegium for the appointment of judges in the high courts, whether they are coming from bar or bench, right? Now the role of union government, this is very important. After receiving the proposal from the Supreme Court Collegium, what Government of India will do, right? So after receiving the proposal from Supreme Court Collegium, where it is considered expedient or a particular recommendation is not considered in public interest or unsuitable, the union government refer back the proposal to Supreme Court Collegium for reconsideration, right? So after considering first time the report, or you can say proposed names from the high courts or Union Minister of Law and Justice. After considering that, it will send to the Minister of Law and Justice, and then Minister of Law and Justice will discuss it with the cabinet members and Government of India. And if government is not thinking that these names are in public interest, or they are thinking that this is unsuitable, then it will further refer back to the Supreme Court Collegium for reconsideration. If further inputs having national security implication, or which may be of overriding public interest, are received, the government at any stage before elevation of concerned candidate may require Supreme Court Collegium to reconsider the recommendation. So, if Government of India has any kind of national security implication, and if Government of India is thinking that if such a candidate will be appointment, there might be security implication or overriding public interest issue, then the Government of India at any stage before elevation, means before appointment, before promotion, require Supreme Court, may ask Supreme Court Collegium to reconsider the recommendation, right? And if Supreme Court Collegium reiterates its recommendation, the same is to be accepted by government as per memorandum of procedure. So, what has been held in the collegium cases, right, will be applied. Means the consultation is not concurrence, right? Consultation with Government of India is not concurrence, but it is mandatory to accept after the reconsideration of the after the reconsideration a recommendation by the Supreme Court Collegium for the appointment. So now it is mandatory to accept the name by the Government of India as per memorandum of procedure. Thereafter, the Union Minister for Law and Justice puts the proposal before the Prime Minister. So, after doing all this kind of exercise and formal procedures, finally, the Union Minister of Law for Justice will put up the proposal before the Prime Minister of India, and then the Prime Minister gives advice to the President in the matter. Finally, the President approves the proposal, and Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice issue a gazette notification for the appointment of judges of the High Courts after obtaining from the person selected a certificate of physical fitness, as in Annexure 2, signed by a government surgeon or district medical officer. Second, a certificate of date of birth as Annexure 2 through Chief Justice of the High Court. So, after giving these two documents by the candidates, their name will be notified by the Department of Justice, Ministry of Law, which has been approved by the President of India, and then they will finally declared as appointed judges of the different high courts. This is the whole process. And in this report also, the form of biodata of recommendation, then form of biodata of recommendation, annexure 1, a former biodata, all has been given in this. A specimen of certificate of chartered accountant to be furnished by candidates from bar. So different forms and their samples has been given in this report. A specimen 1 has been given resolution of High Court Collegium, that why they are recommending. So different kind of formats has been provided under this report. Resolution of High Court Collegium, specimen 3, right? So these forms has been given, you can easily access it, right? Annexure 1, 2 to be furnished by the Chief Justice of High Court. So these are the formal, you can say, processes. These are the forms, format, the specimens through which the name of different name and you can say recommendation of different candidates and recommendees will be given to different authorities. There is no informal process, rather this is formal process, and formally this will be proceeded with. And then finally, I have already enumerated that where it has been started, how it will go to the chief minister, how it will go to the governor, how it will go to the union minister of law and justice, then how it will go to the Supreme Court of India, and then how Supreme Court will consider different aspects by its collegium and different judges of the High Supreme Court, which are conversant with the High Courts and its functioning. Then it will go to the Ministry of Law and Justice. Then, after considering different kind of national issues and aspects, security and intelligence, it may further come to the Supreme Court Collegium. And after Supreme Court Collegium, after reconsidering the proposal, it sends back to the Government of India. It is mandatory on the Government of India to appoint that candidate as a judge, right? So after finalization of this, Union Minister of Law and Justice will send that report to the Prime Minister of India. Then Prime Minister will give advice to the President of India, and after the approval from the President of India, it will be notified in the Gazette of India by furnishing two documents by the candidates and recommendees, and after the notification, gazette notification by the Government of India, the final appointment of those candidates as a judges of the high courts will be completed. So try to understand the whole process, which is very, very detailed and very, very, you can say, formal and lengthy. So you need to understand. And again, there is a specimen sample regarding IB report, intelligence report, and all. Then the file noting by the Government of India. Of course, this is the file noting which is being given by the Government of India after considering the recommendation by the Supreme Court Collegium, SCC, file noting by Government of India, specimen 3 and all. Right? So letter of opinion from consultee judges of the Supreme Court means if Supreme Court Collegium are consulting some particular judge from the Supreme Court of India, then there is a format in which he will write his own opinion about particular candidate and all. So whole kind of things has been provided in this report. You must read it, you must understand it, and then you will understand that how different candidates and different recommendees are appointed and considered by the Supreme Court Collegium, High Courts Collegium, Governor, Chief Justice, Chief Minister of State, and ultimately the Government of India, Prime Minister, and President of India, for the appointment, for the suitability of that candidates as as a judges of particular High Court. This is very, very important to understand. So with this, guys, I will not take too much time because it is very lengthy report. It is about 41 42 pages, so it is not possible to complete whole pages in just 30 minutes and all, because we need to discuss different things. We need to understand it exactly, that how it is operating, how it is working, how it is functioning, right? But it is very important to understand for our democracy and our constitutional things. So with this, I will complete this discussion. I will complete this understanding of this report and analysis of this report, which is I think very important for you to understand also. So with this, I will conclude this discussion, and I am very thankful for you, for your suggestions and your support in this journey. And I am hopeful that if you are interested in this kind of discussion, please let me know in the comment box. And a request also to subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share my channel as far as possible, which will encourage me to do this further. So with this, thank you so much, and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan. Thank you so much.